So context, I don't have...
Georgie should be our producer.
I've never had a pet in my life.
That runs?
No, I just never
had to think about opening the door and hanging out.
I had pet deer as a kid, which is a whole nother
that's a different
podcast in itself. My childhood was a mix of I was like, if you had to describe my childhood, it was like growing up in the boondocks, but like trying to be a high school jock the whole time. And
we have the tapes too. If you
want. Did you ever go
someday we'll pull up? We'll have Jamie pull
the tapes.
Yeah,
and then throw in some High School Musical with that, and you got.
We have those tapes too.
Yep. Yeah.
Did you ever go chasing baby deer down the road?
Yeah, but the ones we kept in the house were like the ones we injured.
In the house?
Yeah, we had one. So when she was born, she got stepped on, amputate whole back leg.
Oh wow!
So her butt would do this little thing down. So she couldn't run very fast.
What a trooper,
Bambi!
And if you really wanted to catch her, you just take out the last leg, and then it just.
So how many times was that a game for you? Just taking out that leg?
It kind of was. But I don't know. Yeah, we kept her in a dog kennel in my basement. My mom hated it.
Your basement?
Yeah.
There's no deer version of the little trike dog wheelie things.
No.
Right?
No. They don't make deer size.
Deer are hardened criminals, so they can just take whatever.
And nobody really wants to make accommodations for them.
Right. Have you ever hit a deer with your car and then all of a sudden it's just up and going and you're more hurt than the deer? Yeah.
I had a deer total my little Ford car. It just rolled over the windshield. And
kept going. Yeah.
We had one when I was a kid, my mother and I, and it took about a quarter mile into the cornfield, and then her boyfriend at the time was an officer, so he met us there, and he followed it out to the cornfield, and it was holding on, but it took some damage, but it made it a good quarter mile, half mile before it even decided to give up.
Oh wow!
I've never had pets as a kid in my house. So when I walked in and I was like, well, I'm going to go back out in the garage, see what you have in the fridge. Don't know how to turn the garage light on, so I'll just leave the door open so the light shines out there so I don't trip on any of your tools.
Yeah.
Yep.
And baby stuff.
And then 3 seconds after that, I was 3 blocks away chasing your dog.
Yeah.
And then she didn't stop, so it kept going.
Yeah. All because you don't want to trip over my tools, which are really your tools in my garage.
See, yeah, and the logic was there, but coming from a guy who had cats growing up, that if you left that door open for more than a second,
I think I heard you say,
gotta shut the door.
No, I think you saw me do it, and you're like, I heard oh no.
There's always that look too. That's the dog doesn't actually run away, do they? You look back.
This one does.
They do.
I did look back, and the door was open. And we made eye contact, and then Georgia was like,
oh my god!
And yeah, I'm just in true dad fashion. I'm not in that good a shape anymore.
I'm with you.
You made it farther than I did.
I could have gotten her.
Yeah. Brian's the runner.
I was gonna say, why didn't we send him?
Yeah.
He pulled up right after.
Where were you at?
I was at my house with my kids.
You saw all 3 of us run out into the street.
He's like, I'm not dealing with what that is.
I had time because it was pretty slow, so
I'm gonna go sit in the house and just wait till they get back.
There's a random marathon in front of our house.
Yes, every year there is.
That was the first time I'd seen that. That's fun.
Pain in the butt because they close the streets and you don't know what the flip's going on until you see a bunch of weirdos running.
Yeah, it seemed like
shirts.
It seemed like 1,000 people out there. It was a lot.
Did they have numbers, or were they just a bunch of weird people running?
No, they have numbers. We actually did it one year because it's the VFW down there.
Oh, right.
So for St. Patty's Day, which I don't even know what day it is sometimes. So
right?
You know what St. Patty's Day.
I hope I'm the one reading these because no one else is going to read this handwriting.
Yeah, go for it. You're going to start us off?
So you're a neighbor.
Yes.
Okay. Have you always, are you a townie or are you...
No, I grew up, you know where Princeton's at? Up on Interstate 80?
Yeah.
Okay, it's about LaSalle, Peru. So yeah, I just went to ISU and just never left.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm a townie now.
No,
And how old are you?
36.
Oh, so you're the old one. Thank
know,
goodness. I'm not the old one anymore.
That's why we brought him. So Klaus can feel better about his
Yeah.
age.
I'm only 30.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a baby.
Yeah.
That's why my back and knees hurt.
I feel like the what's a good ultimate question of are you a townie or not? Is it like do you order yourself a gondola and you like it or something like that? What's a good?
It's not bad. Yeah. Where do you get your gondola from?
So what? I'm not from here. What's the gondola?
It's like this.
It depends on like
mediocre sub sandwich that you can get.
Avantis?
You can get at Avanti's,
Yeah.
or
No.
you can get at La Gondola. You can get the torpedo.
Don't you hate?
Listen, I love it, but I understand for people
It's
who are out of
very
town.
average.
Yeah, you're not gonna be like, oh wow, this is better than
No,
Quiznos.
but when you grew up after a soccer game and they bring those out wrapped in the little paper and you're up and
I
you're
agree.
snacking on that, there's nothing better.
I agree.
Plus, the building for La Gondola is kind of just a shack.
Yes,
It has gone downhill.
So when I
especially ours.
both of
Yeah.
them, both of them
Yeah.
have gone really far downhill.
when I first moved here, people were like, "Oh yeah, La Gondola is what I come back here for." Like, you
And
gotta
then
go.
you just
gotta-
pull up and you're like,
Who said that? We
People
need
are like,
names.
it's just like a rite of passage. You just gotta go when you're in town.
okay,
And I was
Avantis I
like,
can understand, but
no. And I got like a free one from my State Farm guy, which I was like, oh, State
yeah.
Farm, they know what's happening in this stinking town.
yeah.
And
if anyone does.
oh, dude, it's bad. It's not good.
It'd be like, where do you go for wings would be a good one.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if you pick Buffalo, you're not a real townie.
Right.
Honestly,
It needs to be like
I wouldn't know the wrong
a Schooners
answer
or a
for that.
Mugsy's, or it needs to be one of the good.
I feel like-
Muggsy's is good. Muggsy's is.
Mugsy's good.
Dude, I haven't-
Schooners doesn't have solid ranch, so they're disqualified to me.
Yeah, but you just get the blue cheese.
Right.
well, that's
I will eat ranch with most things, but if I'm doing wings, I want the blue cheese to have the tang with the.
their ranch and their blue cheese are the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like a 50-50 mix
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's great.
I've still never been to
Yeah,
Schooners.
yeah, you're good. It's actually
You're
a chain.
not good. What?
I didn't realize.
In Princeton, there was a bar and grill named Schooners, so it's.
I
kinda
think
like,
it is. I think it's a chain.
It's not a chain.
It's not the one.
It's not a chain.
There's the same one in Morton.
There's multiple locations, but it's not like
Yeah.
a chain. It's a
What?
local
What's the difference between a chain and a restaurant with multiple locations?
corporate structure. I think you know
would be
darn well what the difference is.
But what would be the difference?
What would be
Like,
the limiting factor?
yeah.
Well, because that dude was anti-COVID. He didn't want to shut down during COVID. He was
Okay.
like, I'm going to
That's great.
stay
It's
open.
like a franchisee thing. You get to pick your own.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the other small restaurants that didn't open back up, so I can't blame him for,
Yeah.
I mean, keeping his
right.
business alive.
There you go.
Well, as a franchisee, I feel like you can do that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
That had
You-
nothing to do with
you
being
have
a dad.
kids.
All right.
I have kids, yes.
Yes. What kinds?
I have a boy and a girl kind.
I don't know how else to ask. Like, how do you ask that?
So I have 2 humans, and then
Small
Homo
2
sapiens.
dogs. Oh
Like,
my
okay,
gosh.
so you're 36,
I'm a 36-year-old guy.
right?
You're married?
I'm married.
Married.
Happily, or just married?
Your wife's watching.
Yes,
Right.
she's watching. We got married in 2014, so I think we're doing fine.
Yeah, almost.
Good for
yeah,
you.
9 years then.
Yeah.
Coming up on.
We've been together since 2006.
Holy moly. You
Wow, dude, I was in.
Don't say it. Don't make him
I was
feel
in
that
elementary.
way. As a small child. Thanks. Not a pretty picture.
Okay, so you guys have been married since I was 3. What would no? Sorry, that's wrong math.
No, you got married. You got some doggos too.
Got some dogs.
Kids.
That probably came before the kids looking at the
Yes.
size of the dogs.
So you probably know not to leave the door open when the
that's going to be the whole episode.
Yeah,
Brady.
yeah, it's gonna be my whole life.
That's what we got.
Everyone, so I heard everyone does it whenever anyone comes over, and I'm gonna be the one that gets made fun of for the rest of my life.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
To be fair, I've never done it, so
Well, are you a real friend?
yes.
So were the dogs your idea, her idea, joint idea?
Brody was Brianna, my wife's idea, and then Willow was both of ours' idea. I guess.
And they were first. You had the dogs for a while.
Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't like, were you like guys trying to hold off kids because of like get the dogs so you don't have kids right away?
What? We dated for 2006. We dated 10 years before we got engaged almost.
Okay, so
Oh,
here is my question. Why did you date so long? Because I'm an avid believer that once, like, you know. And I'm also a very big proponent of marriage. So what
You also broke up with your wife like 8
I did not. That was her.
Oh my gosh.
We'll get into that. I never broke up once. That was her.
I was like, you're giving advice that your story doesn't really.
No.
Well, so I'm gonna try to keep it like not. So my wife was trying to get her PhD, but she was going to school to get a bachelor's degree in nursing. It took her 8 years though. She should have a PhD, but I was just waiting for her to get done with school.
Okay,
That's a good answer.
Nice.
But
There you go.
she put the crack down then, so
Right.
Gotta get
And then, so she did say,
yes,
now it's time to put up or shut up?
yes,
Good.
yeah,
Okay.
Good.
So
Good. So you got married.
yeah,
How like dogs after marriage, before marriage?
after.
Okay. Was it to hold off the kids?
No.
You dodged that question.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, didn't want kids. No, well, I didn't intentionally try to stop it.
Didn't want kids at all. Still don't. Or you have to. So.
Yeah, I have to. Too late for that.
Yeah.
See, now, the same dog question, whose idea was it to have the kids? Or was it a
Whose idea to have the kids?
mutual
Yeah.
thing, or was it a...
Well, yeah, that was a mutual
Hey,
thing,
babe, I'm
but there's
pregnant.
there's some unpackings. You can do some stories, or how in depth do you want to go with?
I think we're
Yeah.
just. I don't know. What?
Yeah. Well, okay.
I think we both said yeah, and then different ideas.
No, I find it funny because the question of like the dog to hold off the kids, that I definitely like that clicked with me for a second. I feel like that was probably me getting a dog. So
That was Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia was more so a Sophie idea, and then kind of she was like, "We really gotta get a dog." And I'm like, "I don't know." And guess who takes care of the dog, kind of thing. So that's a very dad move.
But then if
Right.
you're me and
So-
Brady, you just have a kid so that they can't get away.
Right.
So your ladies can't leave you.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes they do anyways, but we made it work.
When you have a kid early in the relationship, it's like, why do we need a dog? Why
Right.
would we ever add chaos to this?
And that's where we're at
Yes.
now.
Why would you add more poop on top of already?
I just got out of diapers. No more poop.
Yeah, and the kids are pretty close to getting out of diapers too. But okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a thing that a lot of guys do when they're like, oh, we got married. Let's get a dog so I don't have to take care of a kid right away.
Yeah. Oh, definitely felt that. We were like, we got to make sure we can take care of something before we have kids. I feel like you figure it out. Most people figure it out.
Yeah. But if your wife is like, hey, like, I would just hold off on kids for a while, it's like, and totally cool with that. I don't know. I wasn't like my.
Because you guys were how old are your guys' kids?
My kids are 6 and 4.
Okay. So you had
8, 5, and 3.
5 and 3.
So they'll be 9. She'll be 9 in June.
22 is when you had your first kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was 19. I was 22.
Mm-hmm. Me and my wife were both 20. Well, yeah, both 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, at the time, we did not do it the right way.
Well, there's no
I
right.
will say.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There's not a right way, but
You should have got the dog if you want to get in. I think there is. But,
Well, we're still on your story.
yeah,
So.
let's deflect.
No, that's good.
so
Yeah. So you got married. How long after marriage was kids?
2014, and we had our daughter Olivia in 2019. So up until we tried, we had a miscarriage, and then we went through that whole thing where couldn't get pregnant for a while. So that took 2 years.
That's hard.
So yeah, 2019, and of course it's not hard to have a second kid. So I had Eli in 2021. So yeah,
21, so 2 years apart.
Yep.
Nice. I feel like that's a good age apart.
I love the 2-year
Yeah.
gap. I will always advocate
Right.
for the 2-year gap.
Because I was 18 months. It's too close.
You feel like?
Yeah.
I feel like, well, because ours are, I think, a little bit under 18. They're like 16 or 17 months apart or something like that.
Years, huh?
But yeah, but I don't know, because I've heard people be like, "Oh yeah, you want to get out of diapers faster or whatever." I'm like, from that side, I'm
But
down
then
with
you're
it.
also extending the time you're in diapers.
No, you're condensing it. You just have more of them at once.
I'm saying if you go longer, you're extending.
Oh
the
yeah,
time
yeah.
you're in diapers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the closer together almost works, but
See, every Evie and Rylan are almost exactly 2 years apart, and I think they're the perfect.
Yeah,
because they're close enough to be friends. Her and Lily are still friends, but they live very separate lives.
Yeah.
But Rylan and Everly can be friends. They still are interested in the same things. They go about the same pace.
Nice.
right.
Oh,
I thought it was like at the beginning it was hard for like the first 6
Wow.
6 months, like in the 18-month period. I was like, dude, I'm bottle feeding one kid.
Yeah.
And the other kid is like coordinated enough that like boys. So I had an older boy that he can climb up on top of things, but not coordinated enough to not fall off.
Right.
And I remember one
down.
time I was bottle feeding my daughter, the younger one, and going around the table while my son is pouring out all the salt but almost falling off the table, and I'm like, this is like too close.
Yeah. I get that.
So there was a lot of moments like that like you had to really set the room up well to be successful if you were tied down to something with the little one.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Can we talk about
that? Just tells you how you learn to navigate that environment.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, I feel like that's like perfect example too of like learning baby proofing a house, and then and then after you feel like you get it down, then you go to somebody else's house and it's just like it's cardio because you're you gotta chase the kids.
Right. I feel like that. Okay, I have another topic to add. Thing like grandma and grandpa's houses suck at being baby proof.
That is a wonderful thing.
What is this kid doing? Speaking of dogs, like
this was the first kid. This was the kid.
Yeah, men do this to delay childbirthing. I would just do it. Like, don't.
Has your kid ever gotten out and ran down the street?
Yes. Oh yeah. After the dog, honestly.
His kid's done that.
Mine aren't runners. I've never had a runner before. Like, Lily's kind of a wanderer, but none of them are really escape artists.
Oh yeah.
I've had friends. Our old Bible study leader, their son was a escape artist. He knew how to get out the windows. He would go, like, he would get out, go around to the front door, and they'd be like, what are we doing out here?
Yeah, because like, are you supposed to like break that as a habit, or
do you encourage that because that's a skill later on?
Yeah, you need to be able to get out of a bad situation, and no. Yeah, because like the other day he like ran outside, and he was like, somebody else found him, and we were like, crap. I mean, it was like a minute or two after we were looking for him, and somebody's like, hey, he's over here. And we're like, yeah. So
was it here?
Yeah, no. But
this was a grandma.
Per usual, you weren't any help.
Yeah, we need Sophie's perspective on this at some point.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So like, consensus advice, like, just getting the dog to delay the kids. Not a good idea.
I would say
because
didn't work out for me.
You eventually get the kids.
Yes.
Like, that eventually happens.
Yeah.
And then the dog is what, more annoying?
Yeah, well, because you're like, why did we submit to this amount of work? But also, now she's attached to the kids are attached to her. And so it's like, there's no good off-ramp for this. So she is along for the ride. And, you know, we appreciate her in that amount. But, like, if I were to do it again, no dog is probably a good solution for me.
Yeah. I would do it.
See, now, would you say there's developmental positives for the children to be around animals when they're growing up?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah. Teaching how to like care for another thing.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a dog, so we would be introducing it at a later age.
Yeah. I'm thinking like a goldfish is like my level.
Yeah. There you go.
If you don't have a dog first, it's probably hard to reintroduce one.
I'm wondering.
Just because of that, I don't know.
Unless I was like, so this is the vision I had when my kids were really young. It's like, well, we won't get a dog now, and then I'll be that great parent.
Yeah, there
Christmas
you go.
dog.
There you go. Then honestly, the dog lasts a little bit longer into high school for the youngest children and whatnot. There's that whole side of it, but Yeah, I feel like I'm at an age that like it's not that they're learning anything practical from the dog by any means yet.
Right.
So I don't know about Olivia.
Our dog's, our oldest one's going to be 10 this year, so he's gonna, but he'll
Yeah.
pass away. I mean, I don't know. But we get to go on walks together and walk 2 dogs and a stroller, so
Yeah.
skill building for me. I don't know.
Right. Such a wild thing to like try to engage with that, but yeah.
It teaches, like you said, it teaches them to be kind to animals and stuff like that.
That's true.
And if you go over to people's houses who have dogs and they freak out. And
Yeah. My son's also like deathly scared of dogs.
We had a kid over at our house that was too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did something happen, or is that just a random personality?
It's just a thing he's never liked, and he just like anytime he's around a dog, he's like.
Which is odd because he's a very energetic, fairly outgoing kid.
Like he likes to command things.
Yeah.
Like he has my personality. He likes to be in charge.
Speaking of command.
Like and.
Yeah.
Like so, I would think like a dog would be something he would like, but no.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know. I don't know what happened, but.
Yeah. Well, we've got a nice 65-pound lap dog, so it's.
I've had so many friends that like they love their dogs, they like all about their dogs, and then they have a kid and they're like, "Your dog's a little annoying."
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you were like Instagram posting your dog like every day. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty typical.
Yeah.
Because they're just giving the love that they would give to a kid to the dog, and then when the kid comes.
I am interested.
Plug and play, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting to get into the dynamic of. Okay, so who mostly takes care of the dogs in your house between you and your wife? I feel like
walks.
Yeah, that's
Was that always the case, or was that post kids? That's how it's fallen.
Always the case.
That was always the case.
So that standard was set.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm almost feeling like that falls into a typical gender role because that's what I hear most of people who have dogs. It's the guy who ends up. But it's
that's my hesitancy to not wanting one because I'm already full time with the kids.
Yep.
I don't want to be full time with a puppy or a dog or.
Yeah. It's almost like a very physical kind of like provisional kind of thing as opposed to like you're not like emotionally supporting a dog, and so I think that's kind of like where it most likely falls, under a guy territory, and it's like. I don't know why. I don't know why I feel like fits into that.
Well, I mean, do you have big dogs?
Yeah, ours are about Georgia's size.
Yeah.
So 60 pounds.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm attached to them. So.
Yeah.
No, dude, I love dogs. I want a dog.
I love dogs for other people.
Yeah.
I love Georgia. I like Georgia.
Like I think I would get a dog, but I would get a hunting dog because that's what I would like use it for.
Yeah.
It's a tool at that point.
Yeah.
I like tools, but you wouldn't.
It's because you're a project guy.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Not a project guy.
Anyway, so like we got through like kind of like your dad timeline.
Yeah.
We'll go around the circle.
I think so. I think I mean you don't know us very well. I probably know him more.
Yeah.
This is Chad, by the way.
Yeah.
I get text from you.
Chad. Yeah.
No, my wife and I got married, and then we. It was like a year or so in, and we're talking about kids or whatever. Obviously, ended up with a dog first, and then, it was like, whatever. We're still thinking about having kids, and then Theo was like, a happy accident, nice surprise, and then Gideon the same way after that, and then.
So it was more we're not preventing rather than we're actively trying?
Just like not consistently preventing. Like
I didn't know. I didn't know if it was just like if the Lord wills it or if it was a...
no, like most of the time preventing, and then apparently not doing the most consistent of a job of that. So if anybody wants to make a joint appointment for a little snippety snip with me,
I just wrote that down as a topic.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I just committed that I would do it.
Well, I said circumcision.
Just committed to my wife that I would do it. So.
I couldn't think of the word for a second.
hey.
Did you write that? Oh my gosh.
Talking about certain decisions.
We'll have to talk later because we can do it at the same time. We can just chill in here while we recover.
Well, Brady's got to add that to his timeline now. Give us the lowdown on the vasectomies.
Oh yeah, I will. Are you done with your timeline?
Yeah, what else do you want to know? I mean,
that's about it. I don't know. From true fashion, I didn't listen to what you said. No, I mean for us, we started dating 8 months later, got engaged. 8 months later, got married. 6 months after engagement, pregnant.
I was really hoping you said 8 months after.
No, yeah, and it was about 8 months after engagement or marriage we had our kid. So we had our year anniversary of dating had a slip up.
Oopsies.
Yeah, a little oops. We were like, we got engaged and we're like, we had premarital sex. It's probably like too in depth to go on here, but like full disclosure.
I'm bleeping that.
Sorry,
No.
Mom. But and then when we got engaged, we're like, we're gonna do it right. Like, let's stop. And then oopsie on our 1 year dating anniversary, and then happy accident, got married, kid. So Oliver, I mean, best surprise ever. He's my best birthday present ever.
there you go.
Most expensive birthday present to date.
More expensive than the second?
Well, he was born on my birthday. So
right.
Paying for it. Yeah.
So you did or did not know you were pregnant when you got married?
Yeah, we were pregnant when we got married, but like we were engaged first.
Right. But
Yeah.
you did know going in that she was pregnant during the wedding.
Right.
Right,
Yep.
right.
So like we had like the different champagne, and you could like tell the glasses were different.
Yes.
I say he's my most expensive birthday present ever because like just the cost of birthing a child.
Yeah.
On
$50.
Right. That was
We'll have to get into that at
she was
some
my
point.
discount baby. Great insurance there.
Oh, wow.
But then also like kids cost like about $1 million before they're out of your house.
Oh my gosh.
Newest study I think was 328,000, something like that. No, it's not. If you read it, it's kind of garbage. But that's the latest numbers. 328.
Like from the
Over
day they're
18.
What are they
years.
counting above? It's like the cost of emotional damage or something? Or?
Well, counseling later in life. Therapy bells, I'm sure. Every generation thinks they know what they're doing, but every generation needs therapy. So apparently not.
Yeah. I think like a third of that 300 is just diapers and baby food.
Yeah, but they're tiny. You don't need a new house or a new car. They
Right.
take up this much.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So great birthday present, best birthday present I've ever gotten. So, but he stole my birthday, so every birthday after that, he just like. It's just his birthday.
So Brady
and then
doesn't
like
exist
they sing.
I don't think I knew that when we were at his birthday party, or else.
Well, yeah, because the only one that says happy birthday, like during the song, is
Mom?
like happy birthday, Oliver, and then my mom will like pipe up from the back. And be like,
Even Caitlin's like, no, this is his day now. So
and Brady.
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure I have a memory of that. Now.
Right,
You say
yeah.
that.
Now you say it, you don't notice it
Yeah.
until you bring it up. Yeah. So, and then it was almost like immediately after, and the funny story was like Kaylin got new insurance because she graduated. My son has a semester of college under his belt because he just went to school.
Right.
With my wife, like took the bus, went to class.
There you go.
Like,
Whoa.
yeah, like
That's
the
cool.
carrier car seat in class, front row.
You better get that credit.
Yeah, she went to the bathroom, breastfeeding him on the floor. Like,
Hey, they're supposed to provide
That's a
rooms for that.
trooper.
Yeah.
not at college.
Not at college?
Yeah.
Wow, we gotta get
We'll
on
have
that.
to, yeah.
We'll have to-
That's the next
Call your
petition.
congressman, people.
Exactly. But like, no, my wife's hardcore. Like, she did that. She was in class like 3 days after giving birth and coming home. Like,
wow.
she's a stud.
She ran out of excused absences.
Yeah, I mean, I think her classes were more like, no, you have to hit the clicker to like get attendance to get points. So, and not like my major, which was just like, they give you a degree.
Do you have a pulse?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Could you? You can't. You can manage. Yeah, that's fine. So she got a job, like great insurance, but you had to wait a year after she got the job to have a baby. So
A year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So she started on April 1st.
Okay.
As a joke.
That's a joke.
Right, as a joke. And so a year later, it's May 1st. Sorry. April 1st is coming up. May 1st. So April 30th, she's busting at 10 o'clock at night. She's like, I think I'm going into labor.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we don't get insurance until
what a wild world.
Tomorrow. So
hold that baby.
And so yeah, April 1st at 2 a.m. or May 1st. Sorry, May 1st, 2:15 a.m. or something like that. Thea was born. So yeah, tight
at
squeeze.
A very quality hospital.
And then it was $50.
Oh, so my wife worked for the government. She worked for Wix. She worked for the government. And she worked for the county hospital. Okay. So the county hospital in Des Moines was, they had the policy, if you pay on time, you get a 20% discount.
Oh, nice.
That kind of they never get paid on time, all that stuff. Yeah. So, and she had really good insurance through there. And it was if you go here, it's going to be super cheap. But if you go anywhere else, it's going to be stupid expensive.
Nice.
So literally after all the prenatal care afterwards, through her insurance, the only thing we paid out of pocket for my daughter was $50.
Oh my goodness!
I think we paid $6,000 for Oliver.
Easy. We paid. That's about right.
That's all right.
For a healthy birth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, okay, so that's natural birth.
Yeah.
No shot, natural. Both kids.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's a stud. She's a stud.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay, your wife works at the hospital.
At the hospital.
Yeah. Did she at
the time? So you get free births, right?
No.
No discounts.
No discounts. They have actually.
What?
They had.
It actually costs more if you want to.
See, if it's the county hospital, they get a bunch
Yeah.
Which hospital?
Broman, Carl.
At in what unit?
She floats around.
Okay.
So.
Nurse,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, yeah. No discounts, no, both natural, yeah, no shots or anything, but still it's $5,000 in the
What is up with these women?
$5,000, hey, that's better, we were somewhere near 11.
I don't know.
So.
Yeah, so, first kid at 22, second kid at 24, 3, and then, we've had them for 6 and 4 years, so.
And then to circle back around, got the snip in your.
Oh yeah,
good catch.
So the deal was, if you and we already knew this wasn't gonna happen, so I don't even know why we talked about it. If you for some reason have to get a C-section, they're in there, tie the tubes, then it's on you, because they're already in there. Whatever.
Okay.
It's not that big a deal just to do it.
Combo surgery.
That's so take the baby out.
I've heard this before. Is that a very common thing?
I think so. It was kind of on her to research that part of it, because I was not gonna tell her what to do with her tubes and all her body. That was so that was kind of the deal we came through. And then if that didn't happen, it was me.
Yeah.
So I think 10 days.
So you went into the second birth knowing this?
Yeah. No, this was decided before.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think 10 days after we had our daughter, I went and got.
And what was the impetus for that decision?
I don't know what impetus means.
That's a good word. What was your reasoning for it?
Yeah, what was the reason you were done at 2?
It was
that you
either
knew
her
going in.
Yeah, you already knew, so
2 was done.
Yeah, so it was. So for us, it was we got some advice, and I think it was from her parents. It was either have them in even numbers, so 2 or 4. So I think it was 2 or 4 for us, and we weren't going to go up to 4. My wife had really terrible pregnancies, so she was like, "I'm not doing this again." Yeah. And we said if we wanted any more kids,
my wife, I think we're just gluttons for punishment because
you know when you know
pregnancies.
Yeah, So she was just terrible, sick from literally.
They don't even sleep. They're sick.
You
can't even say dusk till dawn because they're through the night there.
But it was we did the birds and bees, and the next afternoon she was like, I'm pregnant. I feel nauseous. I'm gonna throw up.
Gosh.
Yeah, she took 3 pregnancy tests before she got the positive, and she was like, I don't even really think I need to know.
Strong swimmers in there,
dude.
It's some champion.
Huh?
That was after or before?
The day after, she was like, "Yep, I can feel it. I'm nauseous."
Yeah.
With Thea?
That's probably exaggerated. It was probably 2 days, but with Thea,
might be a little exaggerated, but
yeah.
It's
2 days, but it was before. she peed on a stick, and it was not pregnant.
Yeah, it was before it was tested.
Right, and then
would have had to been a blood.
Yeah, it was before the 5 or 7 days or whatever the
correct
pee sticks are now. So we were she was sick from day 5 all the way up until the day of birth.
Oh.
Like, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, throwing up, nauseous, all that stuff. So she was like, I'm not doing that.
So did she get better towards the third trimester?
No,
because that's a very common thing.
All the way up.
It was just
all the way up. Yeah,
So
she got all the other.
Was this just constant throwing up, or was this like a?
She got all the other symptoms and then like kept them. Wow. Like it wasn't like a hey.
And you went back for another one.
Right.
You have 2 children.
Yeah.
After doing that.
Yeah, I think it was that like, you know, that hormone that's released to women after they give birth to like, hey, like you should want to do this again.
Right.
And I kind of talked her into like, I was like, we're not gonna just have one.
I have that hormone. I always have baby fear. I always want the babies, so
right.
I have that hormone.
And she was like, no, you're not talking me into another. And we were like, okay,
don't touch me.
if we decide we're like okay parents and we can do this, do more children, then like we'll foster or adopt, or there's other ways to do it without you going through.
So that communication has been open.
10 months of hell. Yeah. So we were like pretty safe about like, let's not biologically bring more people into this world. Like we replace ourselves, and we have like literally split clones.
You're above the standard of replacement for the U.S. So you're doing your part.
Doing my part, keep the population up, and then we'll just if we ever get that point, we'll foster, adopt. But
there you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but now that you have had some practice, you're like pretty sure.
Do you guys have the heart for foster?
I don't know.
That's something.
I don't know.
I would adopt in a heartbeat, but I don't think I could ever foster. That's a special kind.
I think
of
if we went into fostering, it'd be foster to adopt.
Oh yeah.
Like off the gate, because there's there's a lot of different.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the vasectomy part, like I had to stare down this guy, you know, like in the interview, he was like, "So you're like 24."
Do you know what this means?
Wait, okay, so the interview, so they like, you come in, you're like, I want a vasectomy, and then they sit you down, they turn on a little light above you.
They tell you, like, he like walks you through the procedure, like this is
metal
what's gonna
table
happen.
in front of you.
Yeah. I'm gonna like grab all your stuff, and I'm gonna put stuff you don't like against them.
And then the other guy comes in and says, "Can I get you a cup of coffee?" Good comeback.
Yeah, seriously, like it. And he was like, "You're 24. Are you like? Have you thought this through? Are you sure?"
Once he heard your story, did he?
I had to walk him through all of it. And he's like, "So you're sure?"
You're sure.
He's like, "Yeah, maybe we can reverse this, you know, but like sometimes it doesn't always happen." So I had to say like 17 times. I'm like, "Yep." And I already put my down payment down, so you know I'm going to go through it.
Is a clinic for this, or is this
outpatient clinic? Yeah,
outpatient clinic.
Yeah, it took like an hour. So it's easy. I didn't even get knocked out.
Wow.
You better knock me out.
Yeah. Okay, they go in
champion
with injections, lidocaine first to numb you, or pills, or what?
They just stretch it.
This is a weird like topic to go all. We'll just go through this. But.
Well, as you get older, more people are going to start talking about it.
Right.
Hey, we're both right.
Should we save it?
We're trying to figure out.
Are you guys like close? Like you want to know, or like should we save it until it's coming closer to see if you really want to do this?
No, I'm committed.
You committed? Okay.
Are you committed?
Wait, why would we? You're going to talk us out of it? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just like walking through it.
Don't do it.
I think it's okay.
I mean, I'd want to know. I'd want to know either way. So.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I don't know. I was like, we're gonna do it. So he comes in and they have this like EpiPen thing, but it doesn't really have like a needle. It just shoots air like really hard into one central location. So it doesn't like penetrate, but they hit it right on your scrotum. So it's like if you took.
I've heard it's painful.
If you like an air pit, like an airsoft gun, with no BB, and you just shot like the air that shoots out of it, like a CO2, like if you took a paintball gun, and make the hole like that big, and then shot all the CO2 in one area into like right into your nuts. So that's what it felt like, and then everything else was numb.
So
that was the numbing. Yeah, that was the worst part.
Okay.
It just felt like you took a microscopic pool cue to the nuts.
And then you want to puke or no?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Everything in your stomach.
Yeah, everything
now
recedes up. It all.
Yep.
When I try to explain these things to my wife, she does not believe it. That they hide away for a while.
Yeah. Everything that normally sits like where it is now in your throat.
Yeah. Every man knows what you're describing.
Yeah. So, and then they wait for that to come in, and then there's like 3 of them down there, and you're all awake and you're laying down, and then he does his thing. Yeah. And then what they do is they cut it, solder it. So when you look down and you see smoke rising from an area you never want to see.
Do you smell it before you see it?
Yep. Yeah. And you're like, whoa. But it's like the dentist, though. He's like talking normal stuff. Like,
put me to sleep.
What do you got going on for the weekend? And then they get sick of you talking.
To talk to you.
You get sick of you talking.
Yeah, the difference with this and the dentist is you get to talk back.
Yeah, right.
Dentist don't get to say nothing.
Like,
That's hostage.
Yeah, you're talking to the guy that's holding the most private parts.
Yeah, what are you going to say? I don't want to offend this guy.
Yeah, right.
Well,
so
it's
what do you think of The Office? It's great.
Just pay attention.
it's like this 57-year-old
You're going to write a
Indian
nice
dude.
tip on there.
Yeah.
And then 2 like nurses that are like,
Lady nurses?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, it's like, and I'm like,
Did they giggle?
I was like,
Was there a giggle?
I've only ever seen 3 people in this clinic. So who else is
This
like? There's
time
other people out there.
there.
There's other customers and like stuff out there. Like who's watching them?
Right.
Where's the receptionist
They
at?
pull everybody in
Everyone's
right
in.
before.
I'm like, okay, sweet. I am super self-conscious. Can't feel anything in this region. And there's smoke coming out of my scrotum. And then they just got sick of talking to me, so they just like normal office talk started talking to each
Put on
other.
some music for him.
So, yeah, and then they stitch you up and send you home, and then you sit
At
on.
least in the dentist office, you get a little TV you can watch. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, there's nothing on the ceiling. It's just like
Staring into the abyss. While
yeah, and then they just let you drive home after that.
Drive home?
Yeah, I just went home and sat on the couch with my frozen bag of peas the rest of the
Did
night.
you do the bag of peas?
No,
I
okay.
think that's required, right?
Yeah, exactly. I went between peas and mixed veg.
Do you like the just thickness of the mixed veg?
Funniest thing though, they gave me so they say like use Tylenol and stuff.
Did they have to write a prescription for the
Yeah.
peas? Or just,
So
I'm wary of having any frozen vegetables at your house.
so I go to CVS inside a Target. So they prescription for your drugs, and you go to the frozen food section to get your peas.
so they know exactly what you're doing when you walk up with the peas and your drugs.
Yeah, but the drugs they gave me, so they were like, if you Tylenol, Advil, back and forth, it doesn't really work. They prescribed me hydrocodone.
Oh my goodness!
Right.
And you're the one who said you didn't want to take it, right?
Well, I didn't think you had to. It wasn't that bad. I took some Tylenol when I got home, like extra strength 24 hour. It's fine.
I think I'll take it too.
So I didn't take the hydros.
Okay.
They're still sitting in the medicine cabinet.
Nah,
You had to pay for the first baby somehow. So.
Yeah, exactly. But my wife was like, they gave you freaking hydros. They gave you hydros.
And then she's like, I gave birth and they gave me ibuprofen.
And she was like, did they lop everything off? Or like, why did they give you hydros? Because I got an aspirin after gotten ripped all the way through. You know, I think most men with like kids know what happens like
During birth?
Yeah, like
I said
Yes,
that.
but I don't know if we need to discuss that.
sorry, my bad.
I've been to them.
Yeah,
That's for the Sadder Moms podcast.
yeah,
We'll let
Saturday
them
moms.
in.
Yeah,
Don't look behind the curtain.
yeah, don't look. Oh, that's another topic. Childbirth. I've used 5 different pages of this book.
That's what it's for. It's the pod.
Yeah.
I just keep turning to a random page and writing stuff down. So
Klaus, yeah.
okay,
we
Klaus,
gotta go
yeah,
to
you're
you,
right. I
bro.
took way too much time. So
No,
sorry,
this is
guys.
great.
That's going to be the Brady exclusive section. Brady discusses his vasectomy.
Brady is episode 2.
Yeah, just close up, face up. Let's talk about vasectomies.
Yes.
So what do you want to know?
Just timeline. Like I think we're introducing ourselves to each other.
Yeah.
And I asked this earlier, so this is just me being a dummy and not listening. It's Brian.
Brian, yes.
Okay.
You can call me Dom, though.
With a B.
Call me Dom. My last name's Dom.
Is it
Everyone calls you
R-Y?
Dom. What?
Is it Y-A-N?
It's R-I. Brian.
So it's brain.
Brain.
So I read it as brain because my brain doesn't understand how to read it.
Because I couldn't tell what Chad said it was Ryan or Brian.
Brian. Just making it up.
So Dom.
About 4 times
I like
told
Dom.
him, but
Yeah.
I told you, when you
like
talk,
Dom.
I don't listen. Okay,
He's focused on his own voice.
walk us through your timeline.
My timeline.
Can you tell I'm really focused on my voice? I have like 16 chords going on in my head.
Timeline. So we met. I'm bad at years. 2013, and then had summer of love. Fell madly in love.
Yeah,
She'll tell you a different story, but I will.
it's your story.
I will
Like,
hold this. So at some point we'll need to do story topics. Dads share their stories, moms share their stories. And
yeah,
give the notes.
someday we'll get our wives on here and they'll just
Refute everything we've ever said on this podcast. They're gonna pull up time codes.
Right. Yeah. They're all taking notes right
That's
now.
right.
Like what we're gonna. Yeah.
So we met.
We love our wives. But
Fell for each other. Started having premarital sex.
Right.
Got pregnant. And then there was some shaky times in the middle there. I was not, full disclosure, not ready to grow up, I will say. I was 21, I think, when we got pregnant. And she clicked like that. Oh, this is what we're doing. My whole life is to take care of this baby. Whatever happens, this baby's going to be taken care of. I did not have that mentality. I thought I did, but I was not willing to give up vices and other things, so struggled through that. So it was a split. Eventually, the Lord, I think, brought us back together. And then we got calendar year, the next actually 2 years. What year is it? 16. We got married in 16. So in 16 we got engaged, and then we got married in December of 2016. And in between there, we also had a surprise baby. Although it was more of a, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
It was neither of us are on birth control. So
No goalie. Yeah.
It's kind of Yep. And I'm shooting my shots. So we also had a baby attending at the wedding, and my daughter loves that joke when I show her the picture.
Right.
She was there too. And then happily married through there, and then had Rylan a couple years later, and then now it's been 10 years.
Well, so I think we got like a pretty broad horizons of stories of how to get to kids and be dads. So.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the grow up kind of moment, because that hits every dad when you find out you're having your first kid.
I can't even tell you the moment, because even when we got back together, it still took me a long time to realize that this is what
it's a huge life adjustment.
To be doing.
Right.
So I couldn't have done that when I was 21.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, she fell for a loser that lived at home with no job, lived alone in his mother's basement, and played guitar for 8 hours a day.
To be fair, you were 21.
That's you.
To be fair, I think we met when I was 20. But to be fair, she fell in love with a loser. So
yeah, no, it's the agreement to adjust the trajectory of your life. So
and the acceptance that this is happening. Whether
because every single one of us is like, I'm on the path to blah blah blah. You know, you have your dreams, whatever, and not that goes away, but it's like, okay, I'm accepting that there is a bigger now, part to my life, calling to my life, or however you want to put it. But I feel like I've told people too, for me specifically, and I haven't heard a ton of other people say this, but I feel like the bigger adjustment for me was getting married, was more of a adjustment than having the first kid, in that it's still that kind of life shift as far as, okay, here is the new trajectory of our life. Not that it's any small adjustment then to go from married to having a kid, but that kind of first leap felt like a bigger change than like, you know, going from being married to married with a kid.
That's a lot of change in 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, the marriage was.
That's.
I don't think it was as hard because we had been living together several years. We already had a kid. This was just felt like the natural.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it just felt like the natural progression.
Yeah. Yeah, for us,
wouldn't have had it any other way, but
right. We were dating and like married within like a year, you know, of knowing each other. And so there's kind of a shorter timeline there, but then total, you know, commitment to a whole. Here's the rest of your life, by the way. And to me, you know, having a kid is like, it's still that trajectory shift, but it's like. Kind of going into a marriage that, like, for us anyways, it was like that was also part of the agreement, at least down the line or whatever, you know,
right.
not stamping a time on it, but I mean, that's the whole thing of like, it's almost like your agreement then in that is like you're already signing on the dotted line for fatherhood then too at that point, and it's like. I guess that's part of why it's less of an adjustment, or felt like less of an adjustment than when it actually happened. I don't know.
Yeah. When did it hit you that, like, you're dad?
Because 6 months later.
Took you that long?
6 months.
After birth or after figuring out?
After birth.
Okay.
Wow.
That first 6 months is... not fun. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it hit me until 6 months after.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, get through the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have conversations all the time of like, it feels like babysitting?
No, I think it just magnified everything else that you had going on in your life. I think it just brought everything else to the top. So if you didn't have a solid foundation, say in your marriage or other areas of your life, it just brought everything up to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, ain't that the truth?
Woo! Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, I wasn't happy with my job. So I think having my daughter kind of brought that out more. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, stuff like that. I felt like that's probably why it was hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. Let's go around the room.
Yeah.
When did it hit you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to say right when Kaylin told me. I've always said, like, if people ask me what do you want to be when you grow up, I always said a dad.
No kidding.
Yeah. My dad wasn't always around and not the best example, so like I always wanted to be like the good example. You know, like I always wanted to be a dad.
Yeah.
So like getting pregnant while we're engaged, you know, brought up some like, oh crap, from like Kaylin's side. She was scared to death all day to tell me. She told me, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I was like,
she needed.
and that's what she needed. But I was like,
to feel comfortable with the
right. But I was excited. I'm like, okay, let's do it. But then I'm still 21 years old in college, like my last semester. So like I still did the stupid stuff after that. So like I want to say that, but then I didn't change anything.
Yeah.
You know, because I just got a DD.
See, I can jump exactly off of that. It was the same thing. She told me, and I wasn't phased at all. Like I same thing. My mom loves to tell this story, but there's pictures of when I used to go on mission trips in my youth, and we would go on a lot of work trips, and when the rest of the crew, rest of the team would be doing projects, working. Not a project guy.
Right.
I would always be tasked with whatever family we were helping. I would be in charge of the kids. So even like from a teenage, maybe junior high age, I was always holding the babies. Always. Yeah. So I was the same exact way. Always said I wanted to be a dad. Yeah. Didn't quite understand what that meant. Same thing. Had a rough father relationship. Didn't really understand what that looked like. But that was always my dream. So same way when she told me, didn't faze me. I said, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
But then also didn't process it properly. Didn't give up the things I was still doing. Thought I could have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Right.
That took me years, thinking I could have the best of both worlds. So it was probably later when we got back together, moved in together, sitting alone. She must have been at work, sitting alone with Lily as a baby, thinking, yeah, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And even then, it wasn't rosy. I had a lot of stuff to deal with that I refused to deal with, but...
Right. Right. I think it was, for, like, similar to you. When she told me, I was pumped. But then you just handed me a designated driver and a timeline. Yeah. I got 9 months and a DD.
Yeah.
At that point in my life, that was like, oh, let's go.
Home run.
And like, I don't, like, that was bad stage of my life and like all that stuff too, but I'm gonna guess this was before your spiritual awakening. Before we really started to, like, I was in the middle of it, so I was like kind of regressed a little bit and trying to get back on track with walking like with Jesus and stuff like that. So anyways, but like I think afterwards, like when we were in the hospital, my wife's going through this painfully agonizing stuff and I can't do anything to help. And then there was a time where I was like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I want to stand by the head, my wife's head, and just support her. I don't want to hold the leg.
Right.
I don't want to do anything. I just want to stand up here and do this. And then that was like symbolic for me. It's like, hey, I want to do this throughout my life. And then the nurses are like under their breath, like, yeah, dude, you're about to have a kid. You don't get to say I want to anymore. Yeah. So like you're not gonna get to do it in this room either. So as soon as it was like go time, I was like, there's 8 nurses and they're like, Dad, you gotta grab the leg. Yeah. And they called me Dad. I was like, no, I'm the support head. I'm the head support. And they're like, Dad, grab the leg or the kid ain't gonna come out. And I'm like, there's 6 nurses over there.
Right.
Why don't you do something? You're getting paid.
Are you even sterile at this point?
And then I had to go in there. All this stuff happens. Hand us a baby, and I'm like, okay, this is. And then it hit me. Like it did. Like truly hit me at birth. And I was like, okay, I don't get to do it my way anymore. I have to sacrifice stuff for my wife first, my kid second. And that's where it was like I got the progression of it. Yeah. So I mean, that's where it hit me, and after that, it was hard to like go back, but that's where it was like, okay, this is real. And I remember staying up that night and just like in the hospital and was like, don't know how I'm gonna get my stuff together to be able to figure this out. Yeah, because you think you're fully equipped. I grew up fast too. I had younger siblings. I I'm not.
I was the youngest, but I just knew I was always involved with kids.
Right.
You guys did grow up fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, not as fast as I did.
Well, I grew up fast with my siblings. My dad was gone, so my mom was single mom. I had to help around there too. So it was like I did that in high school. But how about you? When did you know, Chad?
So I feel like I had a little bit similar thing to you, Klaus, of like I was, my dad was a children's pastor, so I was around like taking care of kids a lot. And so, but I never was like, that wasn't a part of like my aspirations if you were to ask me or whatever. But yeah, so essentially when we found out, we were on a little vacation and Sophie was showing signs of being sick, and I was like, I knew, like I didn't like test or anything before, but like I knew. You
had that feeling.
Yeah. And it's one of those like, I'm sick, I feel like throwing up. Also, can we stop and get sour gummy worms? And I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. That's not car sickness. That is you are pregnant. So I didn't, I was right or whatever. But I'm kind of the person that's like not, at least like I don't show it, and it doesn't like immediately hit me to myself like when something kind of huge happens like that. But I kind of take the approach of like, everything's gonna be okay, the dad approach of like, guys, we're gonna figure it out. Right. And so I held on to that for a long time. And I think, for me being in the hospital for like kind of the whole like preparation getting to the hospital was like the, oh crap, this is real kind of moment. Like all the appointments and stuff, it's like, this is kind of surreal, but it, didn't totally hit. But then, pulling into the parking lot of the hospital, and it was the middle of COVID, so like People are like literally in hazmat suits in the delivery room. And I'm like, what the world's going on?
I've never had a COVID baby. What was that like?
I mean,
for real,
it was our first kid too, so I couldn't like really tell you, the first time around of like, it was so different because blah blah blah. It's like, no.
See, I had 3, and if I had a COVID baby and they were telling me things I could not and couldn't do at that hospital, like,
we'll take all the distractions you had before and remove them.
Right.
Yeah.
No family members can be in the room. Take all that away.
Yeah.
And it's just you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it was April.
Well, that's
I don't know if that's good or bad.
So that was the rule when we.
Was
it? That was my rule. I didn't want anybody in there.
So
I was pretty firm on that. You can come visit after. That's fine, but during birth, it's going to be me and my wife.
Your story.
Yeah, no, I mean, ours was like literally April of 2020, so they're still like...
They don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, they're still going back and forth on like, does a mask actually do this?
Yeah.
Or like, do we need a full hazmat suit to be safe? And so some nurses were full hazmat suit, some had masks on, some of them were like, listen, when other nurses leave the room, take your masks off because I don't care. And it's like, you get the full gamut of that.
Wow.
And, it was obviously no family members and stuff like that. So, but I mean, my parents lived out of town and stuff. Like, not that they wouldn't have come or whatever. And her parents were there, and kind of there to like help or whatever. They're a little bit out of town or whatever, and so we would have had some support there. But she's fairly independent, kind of too. So I don't know that it would have changed too much. She definitely said she wished she would have, been able to have her mom there too. But like, for me, or I guess for both of us, it's our first kid, so it's like that is all we know, So, but yeah, I totally felt like the hopelessness there, and that like there's not really anything that I could do except I'll take the first diaper, babe. Hey, don't worry about it.
What a hero!
Okay, show hands. Who got the first?
Hasn't got one since, but
how could you not get the first?
I don't remember. Right? I feel like I definitely would have.
I was scared
too.
Nurse.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was an option, honestly. I would have opted for that.
I've changed lots of diapers. So
it's like black tar.
Yeah, it is.
It's like tar poop.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, but hit me in the hospital and getting home definitely had like months and months of like felt like babysitting. Like, okay, this is great, but like, when does somebody come pick up the baby or whatever?
There's also a lot of stress of like, let's keep you alive. Like, nobody talks about that, but that's a real.
Was it? Did you feel it driving home?
Driving home?
Right.
I was too tired driving home for it to hit me. That there was months of not sleeping, so it was like more so being affected by the days of like not having rest.
The not sleeping stopped for you? I'm still like on.
Well, I mean, comparatively,
right? Yeah,
so like
exactly.
You could actually sleep for 4 hours in a row then, and get back to like REM cycles. It's like, oh wow, I forgot that.
Rapid eye movement.
Yeah.
Just nothing. Just
basic human, taking care of your brain is like not happening for a long time.
I feel like the infant phase was like when your dad or like family members like fell asleep during golf at like for that like hour. That's what like our sleep was during infancy.
Yeah. Straight up.
That was like a night of sleep. Yeah.
Oh my.
Okay. Yeah.
Bad sleep.
Yeah.
I think it like hits you in waves a little bit.
Definitely.
I remember, this just brought it back to me. I remember when we drove away from the hospital, I was like, okay, we're actually taking this baby home. Like, checked the car seat like 18 times to make sure it was safe. And then I had the unfortunate timing that my doctor, so the OBGYN, was walking down the sidewalk like with her lunch to go like out. And it was like this support. She would come in and say, oh, you're doing this right or you're not doing this right, help out and all that stuff. And we're driving away and she's just eating her salad, just like, good luck. Like, it's what it felt like. And I was like, we're doing this. We're taking the kid home by ourselves and no one's going to help.
Right.
Like, it's just us.
There's no more nurse call button.
I couldn't even get the dang car seat.
Right. Yeah.
Sweet.
Car seats. Okay.
Do we want to take a break?
Yeah.
Brian didn't get to say it.
Oh, no, I was just saying the car seats.
Oh, I thought you said it was like 6 months after.
Oh, yeah, 6 months after.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's getting I think it hits you once they get a little older. At least for me, it did.
Yeah.
I think once
they can interact.
Definitely. I don't. It's just easier when they can interact. Like,
I'm such a baby face. I'm constant baby fever. Yeah. I will. You give me a steady stream of babies and I'd be happy.
And there's something about like seeing yourself in them, like when they start to do. You're like, okay, yeah, that is me, 100%. And
I think each one of us has a copy. I think we know whose is too.
It is funny because it's like they're so honest that they will say the things that you maybe would have said and gotten in trouble for, and then the kid says it. It's like, oh, that's kind of cute. We had that earlier today.
I have a question following up on this. You have two.
Yes.
One each gender?
Yes.
You have two, one each gender. I have two girls, one boy. Did either of you have like a preference of if you wanted boy girl or if you... Does that make like
girl?
You wanted girl. Okay, so did you have your girl first?
And then boy?
Yeah. So you had your girl first. Yeah. So your second one, did you want a girl?
Yes.
Okay, so when you had your boy, or when you found out you were having a boy, did you struggle with that?
Yes.
Okay.
What's that like?
Ooh.
So I will follow up on this. I had the exact same situation. I always, as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted all girls. Wanted 7, 8, however many the Lord blessed 16. Me with.
Yeah.
You joke. You joke.
I know.
I wanted all girls.
Serious.
So when we found out we were having a boy, up to the day he was born, it was... my wife has a term for it, and now I can't think of it, but it was almost like a mourning that I was going through.
Wow.
And when he was born, there was like a noticeable lack of connection. So when Everly was... So unfortunately, my biggest regret is I missed Lily's birth, but we connected fairly soon after we met. And then when Everly was born, connected right away, like instant, this is my child. Yeah. When Rylan was born, it took me a long time, which was a whole... I mean, that could be another topic for another day, but that was a whole journey from between me and my wife, because she noticed it too, and she was confused, like I connected the girls, loved the girls... But with this boy, so I was just curious if anybody else had experienced that.
Yeah, it's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Yeah.
Easier as he's getting older, though.
Yeah, how old is he?
He'll be 2 in May.
Okay.
So.
See, my son's 3, and I couldn't imagine any other way. He's like my best. But of course, I've been home, I don't know, 2 years almost now, and I stay home full time. So I've been with him for the last 2 years. So now he's my little best buddy.
Yeah, he is.
But I totally understand that.
Like, see, we have to hang out for 4 hours a day by ourselves. So, me and my son.
Yeah.
So, that helps.
It does. It does. The bonding time definitely helps.
There you go.
Did you have it tough before, like, he was born? Or, like, after?
Yeah. I mean... It's still weird. I don't know the feeling, or it's just a weird feeling that you don't think you should have.
Yeah.
And you don't really know what to do, maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's...
And that's something you never experienced with your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I didn't think I should feel that way. So it's still weird to... I don't have a good answer to not feel that way. But I don't know.
Well, if it's anything like my situation, I do think it goes away, and you find a way to form that bond.
Yeah.
But that was one of my big struggles, and that's something I never saw coming because I always loved kids, always.
Yeah.
But I somehow in my head got dead set. I'm gonna have girls. I had the girl dad shirts. I was set, and then we had a boy, and I
You do
lost it for a little bit there.
You do like match your kids with your apparel.
Okay.
It's cute.
Okay.
It's just funny that you match your 3 kids and your wife
and
doesn't.
Your wife is the one
uses.
But you know your wife.
Buy them. She buys them.
You know your wife bought all 4.
She buys all of them.
Left herself out.
Every holiday, every event, anything, she'll buy cute, either coordinating or matching sometimes outfits for everyone. Except for her. And then for Valentine's, she came home with these cute little red sweatshirts and 2 little pink ones for the girls. and obviously they were not obviously they work at Target.
Yeah.
So I went online and I searched it, and I saw one in my size, and I said, "Well, how come you didn't get me one in my size?" So the next day she shows up with one in my size. It's like, well, how come you didn't get one in your size? Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And you wore it anyway. It's like a
I'm gonna wear it.
Beast.
I love matching.
Yeah, no,
kids.
more power too, man. I like.
They're easier to spot in a crowd when you got a moment.
I don't have the planning to like do that.
Oh, see, she does the planning. I just get to enjoy the fruit of it.
Yeah. See, and my son, he is my exact clone, but he doesn't want anything to do with me.
That's Lily.
Like he's growing his hair out because he wants to look like my brother.
Even though you're growing
yeah, even though I'm doing the same exact thing.
And you started it first.
We're just trying to look like my little brother. My son and me are both trying to just encompass. Yeah.
So do you find that since you two are so similar that you butt heads a lot? I think we've had this discussion before, but
that's a whole other podcast.
Concept. Okay, but talking about being little copies of yourself, and then we were talking about honesty. I feel like we could go into things that your kids have said that are maybe a bit like you and a bit more honest. Because, honestly, well, and on a serious note, I love the side of, like, your interactions with your kiddos, Brian, that, like, I feel like me as a parent, I'm more like if something is not for a kid, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is too spicy for you or something like that. You have a snack or whatever, and it's like you guys are like very straightforward in your explanations of like, hey, this is exactly.
Oh yeah, that's probably gonna bite us in the butt one of these days.
Wait, expand on this. I'm interested in this.
So you tell it how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't want if my daughter wants to do something. And obviously, if she wants to go down in the middle of the street, we're not going to do that. That's just tough love.
Clarity, she's
three,
okay.
But
she's rounded.
I don't know. With a little bit of guided direction, I'd say.
Yeah.
What's a good example?
So, like, not a helicopter parent.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah.
Like we're taking her gymnastics class. Heck, she's not in preschool or hasn't done anything, so there's no structure. She's not used to that structure with the teacher.
Yeah.
And I think if there was a more serious parent, they would get mad that she's stepping on stuff she's not supposed to be and not listening.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, well, if she doesn't really like it, that's fine.
She's got to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's not helpful. So maybe kind of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna eat dirt, you're gonna figure out what dirt tastes like.
Like we grew up on dirt.
That feels like a good dad approach.
My son eats the like kinetic sand at
Bass
Pro. Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, the hell thing of kinetic sand. I looked away for 1 second. He's just like straight looking this other kid in the eyeballs. I am a crazy person, and you better walk away from this table right now.
I remember one of the first times I let, I think it was Theo out this door. He walked outside, and I can see him. He's not that fast. He's a toddler, so he walks out, and it looks like he's about to get down and grab like a tennis ball because like Georgia's got her toys out there. He reaches down, and the grass is a length. I can't really see what he's grabbing. He pulls a piece of dog poop in his hand before I can dead sprint as fast as I can. That is in his teeth. And so I'm smacking it out of his hand. And we're like, I guess we go brush your teeth now.
So that's a level of parenting. Yeah, what do you do in that situation?
It's like I wish it would be.
You just have to laugh.
You feel like as a parent of that age of kids, the speed at which a kid can get their hand from here to their mouth breaks the sound barrier. I feel like just.
Yeah, and on one hand, it should be very evident to him by the taste that you shouldn't be doing this, but at the same time, I don't really want that to be the line that he gets to.
Yeah, we need to try.
Jumped really far.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So what's your philosophy on eating poop as your kids? Like, yeah, go ahead and try it yourself.
Mister, let's try it. If that's what they want to do.
If that's what he wants to do, go with the dog poop. It's fine. There's some on our back here.
I'm sure there's some protein in there.
Just if you don't like it, throw it in the trash.
Yeah. It's a baby episode of Bear Grylls out there. hilarious.
Exactly.
If he wants to try it, go ahead. I don't. I guess we'll deal with the consequences.
That's funny.